Hey guys, I'm going to go over the perfect example that I sent you guys out a couple weeks ago um, to make sure that you have all this in your official create task before you send it off to College Board. I am not going to critique in detail your individual create tasks because I'm not allowed to do that. You just have to basically look at the rubric and go over this yourselves. But I am going to critique this person's work, and you can pretend that it's your work and kind of put two and two together and use some common sense. So, looking at this person's project, uh, obviously, um, 2A, this person decided to type a description of their video. You do not have to do that as long as you're narrating in your video. And once again, if you are making the decision to narrate in your video, you need to still have the part where it says, this program is created with, and then whatever programming language you decide to use. So this person again decided to type it out. So again, he says that his program was created with Python. Right then and there, because he included a programming language, the judges automatically check off that box. You need to state what kind of programming language you're using, whether it be verbal in your video or whether it be in section 2A as a write-up. If you're not going to write up anything in section 2A, then you can just either leave this blank or you can put video narration in video. Okay, so that's basically all you're doing in 2A. You're describing what's happening in the 1 minute section that your video is showing. That's an easy part. All right, section 2B. This person, the reason they're going to get full credit here and the full amount of points that they can get is because they are talking about programming obstacles, programming the iterative process of going through their program and fixing things. I cannot stress enough that the judges do not care whether you were walking down the street one day and you came up with a brilliant idea to make an app because you saw flowers on the side of the road on one side, and on the other side of the road you saw garbage, and you decided to come up with this great idea to save the earth and the planet and everything is going to be great. They don't care about that. They don't care how creative you are. They want to know about programming situations in 2B. So it's basically the iterative process. So for example, he talks about the first obstacle was that the user and dealer's hands were carrying over from game to game. So that is something that's happening in the program. This posed a big issue. This would have caused everyone to bust as soon as the game summed up the hand values. And then he talks about how to fix this. He creates a function. The function is clear. It's called clear, and then he has the parentheses that would simply clear all the hands by resetting the list they were composed of. So then he talks about more programming details by calling this function whenever the program asked, yada yada, this and that. How he solved the problem, okay? And then another problem. Now you can talk about an obstacle, which is a problem, or you can talk about an opportunity. Okay, you can also talk about an opportunity if you don't want to talk about a problem. He decided to talk about two problems. You can either talk about two problems or two opportunities, or one problem and one opportunity, either one, or two opportunities or two problems, either any one of those combinations. So he has over here another problem I ran into was that the user hit one time, then they would no longer have the choice to stay or quit. And then again, he's talking about programming solution, if-elif statement inside the while loop. And then obviously this program was developed independently. Most of you were fantastic and included that you had developed the program independently. Okay, but make sure, I can't stress enough, to be. It's a programming situation here. It's not how you decided on the colors, how you decided on how to make the app. If you were if your little sibling was being bullied and you wanted to create this great app, they don't care about any of that stuff. It's all about programming in 2B. And make sure you're talking about the iterative process. I tested out my code. I had somebody try out my code or my game, and this is what happened. And because of this, I went back and I decided to revamp my code because of this test. Things like that. That's what you want to be talking about. Okay, 2C, don't forget to include your algorithm. This person just put it on here, the section they were talking about. You're going to label it with an oval. So the algorithm they're talking about here, for this section, for 2C, the key points here, you need either a math or logical concept. So math or logical concept here. And then you want to talk about, you need basically you need a main algorithm with 2 or more sub algorithms, okay? Then you need to talk about how those algorithms function independently and then how they function together. Okay, so that's what the judges are checking off. They have a check sheet. If you, it basically, if you have a mathematical or logical concept in here, boom, they check that part off. If you talk about how the algorithms function independently, boom, they're checking that off. If you're talking about how they function together, boom, they check it off. If you miss any one of those things in this section, you get a 0 instead of a 1. Okay, you need to have all of those things checked off. 2D, you're talking about an abstraction. You're going to include the picture of the abstraction. You're going to put a rectangle around it. And the thing about this section that you need to have, you need to also have mathematical or logical concepts shown in here as well. But you need to talk about, obviously, you need to explain your abstraction and what it does, but how it manages the complexity of your program. You need to use those words. This helped manage the complexity of this program because it blah, 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 and that's what you need to do. If you forget to talk about how it manages the complexity of the program, or if you forget mathematical or logical concepts, or you forget to explain your abstraction, no good. They're going to give you a 0 instead of a 1. And then on the bottom of your entry, you are copying and pasting, or you have already copied, you have already made a screenshot, you're pasting your entire program code. Even if it takes 20 or 30 pictures, you are posting your entire code on the bottom. Then you are saving it. You're going File, Save As. You're saving it as a PDF file. Then you have completed the entire project, the Create task. You are done with the most difficult portion of the AP exam. Then you will move on to your Explore task, which is basically a glorified 5-paragraph MLA research paper about an innovation in technology. And then you're going to take your 74-question multiple choice exam on your school campus or at a testing site. So that is basically it. I hope you have listened to this whole entire 10-minute announcement or 10-minute basically a rant on my part because I've had the flu for so long. I've been sick. I don't know, respiratory infections, crazy weather, North Carolina weather business. So, I'm just hoping that this helped you out a little bit. Again, if not, just please contact me and I'll be happy to help you. Even though I cannot give you specific feedback, this should have summed it up. Thanks, guys.